Welcome to Start with CP, everyone. I knew I would get it out of my mouth somehow. But public service announcement before we start. And the public service announcement, thank you, Mr. Pandemic, for allowing us to do social distancing, but not thank you to Zoom to yeah. So just make sure you you as the host are aware of what's going on in Zoom, and always keep your Zoom up to date. When you click on the Zoom.us signal on the Mac pull down menu, I didn't mean signal, I meant pull down menu on a Mac or PC, it should say update Zoom. And make sure, and I know when Zoom comes out, and I'm on iPhone, so when Zoom comes out with an update for mobile, either Android or Android operating system or iPhone, I know that Zoom comes the Zoom mobile comes before the Zoom computer. So just make sure you update your Zoom and just make sure you are mindful as a host to let people in because, yeah, I've been having issues with it since 5:30 this morning. Yeah, don't ask what I was doing in the Zoom meeting daily at 5:30. It's a East Coast meeting that you guys heard me speak about before, but the technology gremlins almost got to my Bible study too, and they definitely got to ask when. So just make sure that your Zoom is up to date and your Zoom is up to date and you have eye on the ball and you have eye on everything because typically when these systems do a um, do a technology update, it all gets screwy and goes up the twig without a pedal. And so Zoom, I don't know whether it's trying to find its paddle this morning or what, but the technology gremlins. Thank you, Mr. COVID, and thank you, Mr. Coronavirus, for social distancing us and putting all of us on Zoom and Uber Conference and Google Meets and every other meeting technology under the sun. Squadcast, StreamYard, the list goes on and on and on. But it's like you gotta make sure that your computer's updated and you gotta make sure that the software itself is updated. And of course, the Facebook algorithm is acting weird. So if you guys follow me on Facebook and I said, "Good morning. Can you see this?" Because people are like, "Well, when? Where's your good morning?" I'm like, "It's there. You just you just haven't seen it." So yes, technology gremlins have got me today. But enough of that. And I want to talk about podcast hosting in general and being a guest. I know on the artwork of CP, we talked about technology that assistive technology rather that people are using, especially if they have a disability. Now, I am very, very lucky that journalism is my full time job. And I am very, very lucky that I don't have a day job unless I want to have a day job. I am very, very lucky that my day job is journalism. And yes, I have time to re-record interviews, but always have, because Zoom is so unpredictable nowadays, always have a backup plan for your interviews. I am flexible enough that I can do interviews at 5 o'clock at night or 7 a.m. I don't care. But for those who do not have flexibility in their schedule, let's say they're trying to homeschool their kids, and kids need the internet more than the parents do. Yeah. And you're trying to play a fine balance. Well, always have a backup plan, because what I've noticed on Zoom is Zoom can either be great or it can be horrible. So always have a backup plan. Always be 10 minutes before the interview. I I tend to scare people. I I tend to scare people. I I say, if the interview's at, a lot of the time I'm looking 2 hours ahead of me, because no one in their right mind looks in Mountain Time. On the occasion they'll say, "Oh, this event is in the Mountain Time," and I'm like, "Oh, well, you do remember my time zone. You do remember my time zone." No, people automatically assume I'm on Eastern Time, and so my body clock goes to Eastern Time, because, quite frankly, that's where I grew up, is Eastern Time. So my body clock automatically sets itself in Eastern Time, even though I'm in Mountain Time, which is 2 hours ahead. So let's say that the interview is at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 2 p.m. Mountain Time. I like to show up on these interviews at 1:55. So by 2 p.m., we could do a mic check or whatever the interviewer has to do. So please be conscious of the time. Please don't be showing up, and I know sometimes you can't help it. Don't be showing up at 9 a.m. expecting the interviewer not to ask you questions beforehand. And I know a lot of people, myself included, do pre-podcast calls, which I don't mind. But as I said yesterday, when you don't, and you guys will be hearing that episode today, and when you don't have questions for me, and you're sitting on Zoom with me and you're just gabbing away because you like to gab, that doesn't help. That doesn't help. So, and I have a schedule. It may not seem like it, but I do. And I have a schedule, and I have a stuff to attend to, and like school. And so I want you guys to be respectful of time and respect cerebral palsy just a little bit. And if you don't have any questions for me, that is fine. At the end of the interview, that is fine. Just tell me so I know. I got a couple, we had into, and I won't go into it. We had interesting morning with Zoom on top of it, and then the interviewee that I was supposed to interview landed up sending the Zoom link to Danielle's email address. Well, Danielle was offline. Danielle's not, even though she's very, very good, she's not online 24/7, you guys. So what we're going to do is Danielle, in the emails that she sends to you guys, it's going to have my email address, my phone number, my everything. She's just going to be facilitating what's going on. And so I don't have to deal with the scheduling. And so it's still going to be the calendar link, but it's going to have my email address, a plan A, and she's going to literally say, here's a Zoom link. If the Zoom link fails, um, here's the Uber conference link. You were trying to say something, Missy?
The email.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem. I think you guys, I think technology gremlins are getting to all of us today because this person told me she sent the email to you and it may have landed in your junk mail. Oh, and that's another thing. Always check your junk mail and add Danielle Coulter at wow.com to your email address book, please, because Gmail tends. Okay, so
your name.
okay, so it's under when. Yeah, you still have the same. You still have the same email address. I forgot about that. Okay, it's Danielle Coulter at
No.
W. Okay, Danielle, I'm gonna give it to you again, just in case you guys didn't hear. Danielle, W W O W, stands for Wins Women of Wisdom, aka Ask Win. Yes, you guys who've been around me long enough know that it was Wins Women of Wisdom for a very long time. So it's Danielle.wwow@gmail.com. That's the email address she's sending from. And please add it to your email, Gmail address book. I don't know what to call it nowadays because Gmail loves to be finicky and send emails to your junk mail. And please, you guys, help us out. We can only do so much on technology end. So please, if you are scheduling, please add Danielle to your email address book, and Danielle will you stick your email address in the show notes. So normally, yes, she says yes at 9 o'clock in the morning. And normally people are pretty good at catching emails. I'm pretty good at catching emails slash Zoom calls slash Uber conference calls slash every which way on technology you want to send me. But when it uh, when it happens to be that, and I pretty much respond on Messenger, on Facebook Messenger too. I have Facebook. There are ways to contact me, and there are ways to contact Danielle. And so please, if you want to be so super efficient, you can add Danielle on Facebook and just say, look, I'm doing this for Wynn's Sanity. And she'll give you all the information on Facebook too if you want. So, yeah, but please help us out because we, it's getting to the point where I love what I do. I'm not saying that I don't love what I do anymore, but it's getting to the point where, and I knew it would get to this point. It's getting to the point because Zoom is collapsing under the stress of the pandemic. It's getting to the point where we're going to have to come up with different modalities of doing it. I have a modality of plan C too, and I will get plan D if that happens to be. I plan to upgrade and use use plan C if I need to. And but right now I'm thinking because Zoom is being Zoom. Zoom has the zoomies, and don't ask where I came up with that terminology. Zoom has the zoomies, and I'm thinking of seriously upgrading Zoom because Zoom that way Zoom won't have the faults that Zoom has. And so I had to Google how to admit people to Zoom. And quite frankly, they sat in the waiting room for and I'll be on the other end. De I will not let you guys wait in the waiting room because I can't find you guys. Normally it picks up, but this morning I couldn't find you guys. As we record this on Sunday, September 27th, 2020. Yes, we're still going through a pandemic. And so I yeah, it's interesting to see the collapse of Zoom finally. And I feel bad for all my ex-colleagues. I feel bad for every single teacher who's doing it on Google Plus, Google um, Meets, and Zoom because we can only do so much. We can only do so much due to technology. So here's what I want you guys to do. Homework now. Add Danielle to your address book. Update your Zoom. Go find Danielle on Facebook, add her, and then she can access you guys via Messenger. In the welcome email, it's going to have Plan A, which is Zoom, Plan B, which is Uber Conference. And so Plan C is contact me and then we'll get another way to it. And so I've actually used Squadcast in the past, which Squadcast is a is something that I could do for free. But I am seriously, if you And if Uber Conference goes down, or if Zoom goes down, there's ways for me to get a hold of you, and there's ways to see. This is a problem. This is a problem. Hosting a podcast during a pandemic. This is a problem when you become a famous podcast host, and then you're dealing with a pandemic. Yeah, that's a that's a problem. Thank you, Mr. Pandemic, for shooting me into journalism the way you did. But yeah, that's the problem. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to um be on the other end, um be on the other end and waiting for you guys, but just text me or Facebook Danielle, or stick me in group with Danielle. For those of you that don't follow us on Facebook, you should anyway. Danielle Coulter and Win WIN Charles is my Facebook name. And so that's the way we're going to capture all this madness. That's the way we're going to capture all this madness of Zoom. And so homework, add add then add I almost said add goddamn, I ew, okay. Add add Danielle on Facebook. You guys get what I mean. And then update Zoom, add Danielle to your Gmail address book so we can do it that way. And then also add Danielle's phone number to your contact list. Plan so adding Danielle on Facebook will be plan A. I'm thinking on my feet here. A- Adding Danielle's email address, which is Danielle dot dot wwow at gmail.com. Danielle wins women of wisdom at gmail.com. And then
No. No.
okay. And so that's plan A. So plan A is adding Danielle on Facebook. Plan B is adding email address to your email address book. And it should go automatically in there. Plan C is adding Danielle's phone number to your iPhone contacts or your Android contacts. And then plan D is plan D is if Zoom doesn't work, we have capabilities of Uber Conference, which we've used in the past, which seems to work. And so I will come up with plan D as soon as everything is over in my life that I have a moment to breathe. And right now, I don't have a moment to breathe enough to go on a podcast. So I will come up with plan D. But if anyone who knows me well enough knows that I'm technology savvy enough, but I also get frustrated when things do not work. So yeah, so I had to teach myself how to admit people on Zoom, and I'm like, oh, Zoom, you're not being friends with Win this morning, and Zoom, you're not being friends with most hosts this morning either. So I will and put Danielle put plan A, plan B, plan C in the show notes as well to this episode and post it everywhere on social media so people can see it. It's called Meeting People Where They're At. And I'm like, oh, no, Zoom. No, you can't do this to me. And so plan A is going to be add Danielle on Facebook. Plan B is going to be add Danielle's email address. Plan C is going to be add Danielle's phone number to your address book on your phone, and then so you can text her or call her. She's better at text than she is calling because of a speech impediment. And so that's gonna be the plan. And plan D is if you look at the email really, really closely, you will see if Zoom fails, here's Uber conference, and here's Wynn's information. So we will do this, you guys, despite Mr. Pandemic, and we will. I'm strong enough to be sitting here and talking to you guys. So we will do this, and now we ask for your help, we ask for your patience, we ask for your space and grace. And that's how I'll leave it. Danielle, do you want to say anything else?
No, 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 uh, uh,
Oh, yeah. Good point. Thank you for following us, you guys, and have a beautiful Monday. Oh, and those of you who listen to Thoughts with CP, because I know you do, um, this is Starts with CP, and the reason why I mixed it up a little bit is because we're coming up on our 2000th episode, and th- I think Starts with CP, formerly known as Starts with CP, is going to be sticking around because we want to kick you guys off strong, and I know it's been a difficult year on all of us, including Danielle and myself, and so we're going to try and kick you guys off strong. I know those who do listen faithfully, and hopefully we'll gain more listeners. And so we're at 100 to 200 downloads per episode on Good Day, and the old episodes get 48 downloads, but the date of release we're at 100 to 200 downloads, and sometimes 1,000. I would like it more and more to be at 1,000, and so maybe if I leave you guys alone, you would do the magical fairy wish here, and um, so what I'm going to try and do, um, because there's and I'll explain why a hiatus might be happening of Ask When. I said might because it has to happen this way. And so I'll explain what's going to happen after we do the school update next week. School and then a life update. And all during that life update, I do do you think we should Danielle, we think on our feet here, you guys. Danielle, do you think we should vote devote a full on episode as to why Ask When maybe going on a recording hiatus?
yeah,
Okay. Okay. So basically you guys, it's going to be the school update for me, and then it's going to be that next week is going to be why Ask When might be going on a recording hiatus. I say might I'm not totally positive about it. I now that people are involved and I can't I'm relying on them to tell me, but I can't necessarily do it on my own. And so I will devote a total episode as to why I asked when maybe going on a recording hiatus. And it's not to rest my voice, but there are all 13, there are all over 1,300 episodes for you guys to binge on. So yeah, but I would like 1,000 downloads per episode. Right now we're at 100 to 200. I would like to see a little bit more. Maybe if I leave you guys alone, that would be helpful. But for right now, Ask When is steady on track to come out Mondays, Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays. So we have a episode coming out on Sundays, an episode coming out on Mondays, and then on Thursdays. The Sunday and Thursday episode is going to be me interviewing a fabulous guest. I don't know what Danielle's got lined up. Apparently, she's got lined up stuff until May, through May, you guys. So I don't know what Danielle's doing. She's my magical fairy, and I love it. And so basically on Monday morning, it's going to be start with CP, and that's just going to be the two of us going back and forth about cerebral palsy, and then we'll do our extended edition on the artwork of CP, which is all about CP. And so yeah, so that's that, you guys. But we need to get out of here before Uber Conference decides to have a technology hissy fit. And we'll catch you guys. I'll catch you guys at some point during the week, probably on Thursday by the time you guys hear it, and definitely on Sunday. So, bye, you guys. Thanks for following us. Bye.
Bye.